Last night, when we were watching TV, one of my toenails scratched Miriam's leg. We went to bed early, close to 9. Miriam had been feeling tired. Today I will work on the next chapter again. I'll edit in the morning, perhaps to be done before tomorrow. It's my birthday tomorrow. I don't know how this next chapter will go, what kind of feel it will have overall. I don't know what else will happen, or what there will be to write about, to sit and to try to find something. Yesterday, after we ate dinner, I went to the store to buy some cream for Elena. I walked through the alleyway most of the way there. I listened to my audiobook while I walked. I was wearing my gray sweatpants. The light was a certain way that made me feel sentimental. I looked at the traffic. All of the dumbass cars seemed awesome. All of the people going along. It seemed like something to write about. I read over what I worked on yesterday, realized the initial draft was much better. I saw that too much editing had ruined it. There was something about that initial draft of it that had more life. I will use what's there, refining it a bit more, but overall, it does what I need it to. Mouse is sleeping on the chair beside me. He escaped out the back door this morning, but didn't get far. Just around the neighbor's yard. I was able to lure him out from under their back steps with some treats and got him back inside. I finished the last chapter. I think there was a lot I got out of it, as far as trying to be upfront about who I am. If I'm to think of this idea of writing about myself, of trying to be honest about it all, to talk about who I am, the value of that, it doesn't matter. It's just what I have to do. I'm happy that I'm sitting here today, writing the chapters of my book, writing what I'm able to come up with. I'll work on the second draft as I can. I've made some good progress on it. I'm 37 today. Miriam bought me a new kitchen knife. It is one I've been looking at in the store for a long time. The Global G2 chef's knife. She also got me a new bag of coffee beans. We will go on a walk this morning to Starbucks to get a free birthday drink. We will stop at the post office. We walked to Starbucks. I got a good drink. The post office wasn't open yet. It was sunny but less humid than it had been. Costco. We got eggplant and eggs, lettuce, stuff like that. We got hot dogs and fries for lunch. The soda machine wasn't working. I talked to my dad in the car. He moved the paper shredder back into his office and is going to clean things out there. He sounds like he's doing okay. We'll talk again this evening. I went to the library to pick up the books I ordered. I read some on a chair there. It was quiet, which was unusual. I began to think of getting a coffee, the place across the street. I ordered my coffee. I sat and read my book. It was quiet, and I loved the book. I felt sad that I had not spent all of my time reading more and writing more, even though I had spent all of my time doing that. Sunday. We'll go on a walk this morning. No other plans for the day. I will write and read. I took care of Nora when she woke up. We lay on the ground in her room. She pulled off my slipper and tried to put it back on my foot. She played her piano. She was quiet and seemed more calm than she had in a few days. I wanted to clean out the milk crate on the bookshelf over the weekend, but I didn't get around to it. Miriam wanted me to see if I could find some radishes at the grocery store there. There's a salad she wanted to make that she was looking at in one of the recipe books we bought for her a while ago. Lately, she's been going to that book to find ideas of things to make. When I was brushing my teeth this morning, I remembered a guy at the bookstore in Calgary. He was going through Western paperbacks and turned to me and said, "The words are too small on that one." As I walked downtown, I remembered how isolated and alone I felt when I lived there. I was half an hour early, so I went and sat in the Tim Hortons. I ordered an espresso and waited for my name to come up on the screen. When I drank the espresso, I immediately felt better, more calm. It seemed like lately all I wanted to do was sit and drink espresso and think about writing, to take notes here and there until the notes became what they needed to be. I looked at the picture that was framed on the wall, a blurry kid playing hockey, the colors washed out, burgundy and mustard to match the cups. I thought of my dad. We went to Walmart. We got some cans of cat food for Mouse, some nail polish for Miriam, some snacks for Nora. I got some binder clips in a box. I thought I would put the manuscripts I printed into the box, but instead I put all of my old camera gear into it. When we came home, the internet wasn't working. A dead bird lay halfway between the sidewalk, its head severed, a lima bean that was probably its brain. It might have been my cat that did it. I took a stick and flicked each piece off of the walkway and into the road. 3 trips. The body, the head, the brain. My dad had his MRI yesterday. We've been waiting a while for that. Next Tuesday, we'll know the result of it all. I found myself reading the Wikipedia page on glioblastoma again. Glioblastoma is the most aggressive and most common type of cancer that originates in the brain and has a very poor prognosis for survival. Initial signs and symptoms of glioblastoma are nonspecific. They may include headaches, personality changes, nausea, and symptoms similar to those of a stroke. Symptoms often worsen rapidly and may progress to unconsciousness. The cause of most cases of glioblastoma is not known. Uncommon risk factors include genetic disorders such as neurofibromatosis and Li-Fraumeni syndrome and previous radiation therapy. Glioblastomas represent 15% of all brain tumors. They are thought to arise from astrocytes. The diagnosis typically is made by combination of CT scan, MRI scan, and tissue biopsy. There is no known method of preventing the cancer. Treatment usually involves surgery, after which chemotherapy and radiation therapy are used. The medication temozolomide is frequently used as part of chemotherapy. High-dose steroids may be used to help reduce swelling and decrease symptoms. Surgical removal, decompression of the tumor is linked to increased survival, but only by some months. Despite maximum treatment, the cancer almost always recurs. The typical duration of survival following diagnosis is 10 to 13 months, with fewer than 5 to 10% of people surviving longer than 5 years. Without treatment, survival is typically 3 months. It is the most common cancer that begins within the brain and the second most common brain tumor after meningioma, which is benign in most cases. About 3 in 100,000 people develop the disease per year. The average age at diagnosis is 64, and the disease occurs more commonly in males than females. Tumors of the central nervous system are the 10th leading cause of death worldwide, with up to 90% being brain tumors. Glioblastoma is derived from astrocytes and accounts for 49% of all malignant central nervous system tumors, making it the most common form of central nervous system cancer. Despite countless efforts to develop new therapies for glioblastoma over the years, the median survival rate of glioblastoma patients worldwide is a dismal 8 months, with radiation and chemotherapy standard of care treatment beginning shortly after diagnosis, only improving median survival length to around 14 months and a 5-year survival rate of 5 to 10%. Similarly, the 5-year survival rate for individuals with any form of primary malignant brain tumor is only 20%. The challenges associated with successfully treating brain cancers are numerous. In the simplest terms, brain tumors often occur in areas too difficult or dangerous to surgically resect, and most drug therapeutics are incapable of crossing the blood-brain barrier in sufficient quantities to stop tumor growth. Furthermore, while stereotactic radiosurgery-based approaches have proved to be effective for ablating a variety of brain tumors visible to MRI and other neuroimaging, metastatic brain cancers maintain high recurrence rates, with glioblastoma recurrence seemingly inevitable. I thought of the bird I saw on the walkway outside of our house, its head removed from its body, its brain sitting on the pavement, looking like a lima bean. I took a stick and flicked each part into the road. I spent most of yesterday and the day before editing what I'd written, whittling down what was there, trying to rewrite it, reform it into something. But when I began to read it all over today, after we came back from our morning walk, I rejected all of it, instead wanting to favor the original text, how it came to be in the first place.